When you're writing any application or any code in Swift and you've got a variable that you never want it to be able to be changed, even in the future, basically anything. So you want to know that you pass this information on to the rest of the application and no one can change the value of this, the memory location of this, nothing whatsoever. This is when you're starting to get in the realms of using constants. And this video will talk about all about what constants are and how we declare them in the Swift programming language. So without any further ado, let's jump straight in. Now you might have heard me say variables, okay? So constants are a variable, but they are a type of variable that is immutable, so you can't change them. Once they have been created, once they've been initialized, that's it. It's set in stone now. They cannot be changed throughout the rest of the application. So now, we're going to say name, all right? And basically, if you haven't done type inference already, we've made another video about that, but we're going to infer explicitly that the variable is of type string and the value is David. Now, for the rest of the application, if this is a huge application, at the moment it is literally 15 lines, we cannot change the value of this here, right? And it's just like you can't change your birth parents. Your birth parents are set in stone for the rest of your life. You can change your parents because you can be adopted by other people, etc., etc. But you cannot change your birth mother, and you definitely cannot change your birth father, right? These are your DNA. This is where you came from, right? So this is basically what we're saying, is that let is saying, hey, this everything left-hand side of the variable, right, of the equal, everything to the left-hand side of the equal sign, the assignment operator. This isn't an equal sign. We'll move on to this a little bit later, but this is not an equal sign. This is an assignment operator using the equal sign. It's saying, hey, this on the left-hand side is the variable name, right? This is then the type of it, the type identifier of this one variable. And this is like whether it is immutable or mutable, whether it can be changed or not changed. And then everything to the right-hand side of it is the value of this one variable. So the right-hand side of the variable, let's call it the constant, has to match the type on the left-hand side. Now, in this case, a string matches the type string matches the type of David, which is of type string. So if we remove the inference, the explicitness, and we see here that the compiler has inferred that it is actually a string. So that was correct. And so a constant, you can never change the initialized value of it. Once it has been initialized, you cannot change it. Now, what we are able to do is basically say surname, and we'll define that as string as well. And then we can say at a later stage, surname is equal to Thorn. And then when we build this, you'll see that we have no problems. Build succeeded, and it is built. And if we run it, it just says constant declarations are here. Now, if we then say stupid, stupid is this string here, right? We can run this, build this application, and build succeeded. We can run this application too, and it doesn't moan about stupid not being initialized, because the compiler is clever enough to understand, hey, this was never used, so it just basically will just discard this and it'll just say, I don't care about it, all right? So this is another intelligent thing, is that it's always important to understand that if you set something, if you declare a variable or a constant, you have to make sure you initialize it, okay? Now, what will be wrong is if we say if stupid is equal to hello, right, then prints this is an error, right? And now we build and run it. Look, constant stupid used before initialization. So the compiler will step in and say, hey, this stupid has not been initialized prior to this one usage of the code. So this is another reason why constants are good, because when you use it, you know that it has got the initial value that it was initialized with. And yeah, that's basically what it's helping you to do. Now, if we move this below this area and we run this again, constant stupid. Oh yeah, sorry. If we now initialize stupid equal to hello, right, and we build and run this, you can see that it says constant declaration because it doesn't match it perfectly. And then if we run it again, you can say this is an error here, which is not obviously an error. So this is the whole point of being able to declare and then initialize variables, all right? Now, why would you want to use constants, and why wouldn't you want to use a variable? Well, the best way to think about it is that when you write a variable, if you don't know whether someone should be able to change this value in the future, then always assign it as a let. And as you're going through the code later on, you know, in other files, this, that, and the other, and you start seeing, wait a minute, the compiler's not allowing me to change this because it is a constant. You need to ask yourself is, do I need to change this value, or can I make a new constant based upon another form? Because you might need name, you might need to change the name to pass it on to another function call. Well, just make a local variable with the new value of it, and then pass that on as well, rather than changing it, because you don't know whether someone else needs that constant, because it's a constant with that one value. So what is the difference between a var and a string? A var and a let. Well, if we just say here other name is equal to James, and we just run this, we can see that we can say other name is equal to Tony, and this will build and run perfectly fine, because other name can be changed at any one time, because that's the whole point of it being a variable, right? But if you come to a later stage where you think, well, wait a minute, other name has never been assigned a different value in your code, then the compiler will give you a warning to say, hey, this has never been changed. This other name has never been altered throughout your code, so it can change to a let. And this makes the application a lot more efficient, because it knows that this is a constant. This is added to the code at the beginning and say this is never going to be changed, all right? So with that said, I hope that you've got something out of this video, and if it has been a little bit too loud, hopefully Final Cut Pro can remove all of that sound. It's people digging up the road outside. Life, that's how life is. But I hope you've enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and write any comments in the comment section below. Ciao, ciao, and goodbye.